Hey again. So if you didn't see the first part of this, then click the link on the side to watch part one. So as I got to the doctor's, I don't really remember a huge amount of it, but I remember as I was in the doctor's, she was asking me a few different questions, but it was obvious from my doctor's report, or whatever you call it, the medical history, that obviously it had been written down there because my previous doctor had always suspected, rightly so, that I was an alcoholic because I was always in the doctors smelling of alcohol. So she sent me then to an addiction specialist, to a psychiatrist who is an addiction specialist. So I think I waited about a day or two for this, and I went and spoke to her, and I was so nervous, so nervous going into there, because it's scary admitting you're an addict in front of a qualified doctor, the psychiatrist who spent 10 plus years studying, to be able to sit there and judge me effectively. It's scary. It's really scary. And it's why I always say to people that as part of their addiction recovery process, it's important that you say it in front of a medical professional, because it's kind of, you are just admitting it. You're admitting it out loud to a professional. You're letting go of some of your ego. You're letting go of your self-control, and you're putting your you're putting your life in the hands of someone else. So it's a really important stage. So we went there, and she started asking me a few different questions about my life and things like that. Then she gave me over a piece of paper and with some questions on it, and I didn't know what it was for. She just asked me to fill it out from 1 to 5, various different questions. And this was an ADHD test. I didn't realise it, but when I gave her back the answers, I'd scored almost full for everything. It asks a lot of questions like, do you find yourself going to the toilet when you don't need to? Do you find yourself standing up and sitting down all the time? Do you find it hard to concentrate on things that don't interest you? And I mean, those ones, most people find it hard to concentrate on things that don't interest them, but the more telltale ones are the things like filling up your water bottle when you're sat in the office and your water bottle is not empty, going and filling it up anyway. And the only one I didn't answer a 5 on the scale for was, if you're in a meeting, do you constantly stand up and sit down? And I put no, I put a 1 for that. And she said, but is that because you've learned not to do that? And I said, well, yeah, of course. Whenever I'm in a meeting, all I'm thinking about is how to get out or how to stand up, and I'm never thinking about what's going on in the meeting. So she gave me that, and then she said that we were going to start treatment for ADHD. She said that I had to stop drinking for a minimum of 3 months, and so that took me from September until January, and I stopped drinking that day, and I started doing a lot of other creative activities. I started learning Arabic. I started doing a lot more exercise. I didn't have a job, so I had 6 weeks or so to chill out, basically. I moved out of my flat, I moved in with a friend. I just started really working on myself, exploring the city, just trying to make myself happy, basically, which was very, very difficult because I was coming out of a relationship and coming off alcohol. So I felt positive within about a week or two of quitting the drinking. I started to feel a humongous change in my mental health. I can't even describe what it's like for the first time in years, basically, waking up 2 Mondays in a row feeling good. I started to understand why people actually like Mondays. Some people like Mondays if they don't drink. They like Mondays. And I started to understand that a bit more, and it was all quite exciting and very interesting. So that was all great there. So I'm going to stop this video here now again, and we'll move on to part 3.